Well, I had to tell a lady at the market that she would see her daughter again in heaven, that I was strongly of the view, of course, that near-death experience people were right. You meet your family again and presumably be with them as much as you wish. But more importantly, I came back to, what are your values? Oh, she values this greatly. Then God would not be God to her if he didn't include this in his values, and he's all-powerful and all-loving. So he finds a way. There might not be a way for us, but there's a way for him. And he's all-powerful and he's all-loving and he's your God. Which means he personifies what you love and value. What else could you love and value but what you love and value? With all your heart, soul, mind and strength. Ideally, go for it. I choose to believe. It enables me to love my God with all my heart, soul, mind and strength. And that's better than not loving someone else's God. And being unfaithful to what you truly value. And part of what you truly value, as I've said before, includes the fact that he can guide you into a better understanding of him, and therefore values accordingly. On any issue that we might be wrong on, but we don't know that we're wrong on any issue. We do know what we value. Therefore we know what we love. This is our God. This is your God, according to your values. You should love your God with all your heart, soul, mind and strength. Bless you. Therefore, I am confident that she should trust with all her heart that she will meet her daughter. It crossed my mind, but I stopped it lingering in the mind because I thought it didn't seem appropriate at the time, but it seemed callous. But that her distress was unwarranted because she will meet God from my point of view. My God, from my point of view, who certainly will have her meet her loved ones. That's what she values. What I value for her, how much more God? You know, if I out of kindness want her to meet her daughter again, how much more does God? And with this trust she won't be distressed in remorse and mourning, but in joyful anticipation. Continue to enjoy life here, with whatever her calling is here. Ah yes, the point that I'm also making. She, like Marshall, was loving the wrong thing. I was loving my wife first, before God. That's not the way. I had to lose my wife to learn this. I didn't learn the lesson first 2 times, but I learned it the 3rd. That you can't put your partner first. It has to be God. It has to be God you put first. Then you will be able to love your partner right. It's my understanding. And in the case of the lady, her relationship with her daughter was the most important thing in her life, not God. And then when she lost daughter, of course, she felt, oh, God's let me down. No, he's trying to tell you. Your true welfare and hers is actually that you love God first, daughter second, God first, wife second, for Marshall. If you can't do that, don't get married. I don't know what the solution is. If you can't do that with your children, don't have children. If you know in your heart that if you have children, you're going to love the children more than God, don't have children. If you're going to love your husband more than God and be basically putting him first, resources and time and attention, then don't get married. Don't find a husband. For if you do, it would be a very hard way to learn by losing your husband or losing your kids. And perhaps there's another way you could learn. But perhaps there isn't, I don't know. I just trust that God does. And always will. If it is the case that you must put God first to be safe in heaven, that applies to your daughter and your husband and your wife as well, doesn't it? You see what I mean? Any other person must come second to God, not first at least. If that is the case, that's what's necessary for you to be a safe passage in heaven, and for heaven to be heaven for all. Then in some sense that's what you need to learn, isn't it? Do you want to receive that now, or do you want to learn the hard way? Nobody wants you to learn the hard way. Choose you this day whom you will serve, whom you will love. That you have to put God first, both rationally, well, and any other way, I'm sorry, but I mean you have to put God first in order to have life eternal. Or you keep coming back to this world forever, or something like it. Do you want that? And if you know in your heart your true welfare is going to be this otherwise idolized person as well, then you do it for their sake as well. For they need to learn this. And treat you accordingly, of course. Don't marry them if they can't. I'm almost tempted to say, and I think I did just now. If they can't do this, well, could they come to love God first by being married to you? Oh, that's conceivable, isn't it? Yeah. Could you come to do this too? Yes. Did I? No. Not in 3 marriages did I learn it that way. I learned it in the losing of even the 3rd, and not having another wife to put in her place. Am I therefore to rush out and find another wife? God forbid. If he brings one to me, okay, that's a different thing. But do you see, you don't want to keep doing that which doesn't work. In some sense, it's worth trying the alternative. I didn't choose the alternative, but I find I have it, and I'm flying. Don't rush to change that, Marshall. You have something precious here. Are you not going to value it? Are you going to throw it away? And make the same mistake, possibly again? You have good reason to believe that being single is the way. Okay, it may be a lot easier because you're 77, not 19. But I mean, I managed to be faithful and true in all sorts of circumstances in my life. I mean, my mind unquestionably wandered quite a bit at times, but I mean, I don't mean I had a perfect record, but overall, I mean, faithful and true. And certainly wanting to be. With all my heart. Love you, Heavenly Dad. Thank you for a simply lovely day. Thank you, Dad. And do you see, too, I mean, the daughter will want with all her heart Mum not to be distressed. The daughter's not distressed where she is, only that Mum is distressed. It would help greatly if Mum was not distressed, then both of them would not be distressed. Do you see? I mean, there are near-death situations where the person's longing to tell their wife or their children that are still alive, please don't be distressed about me, I'm fine. The only distress is not being with you and to know that you're unhappy, that I'm not with you. Please don't be unhappy. I am aware of you and all that you do. I know you're not aware of me and this blessed place that I'm in, surrounded by the love of God. With all assurance and peace, except that you are distressed. Please don't be distressed. There's no need, and you will be here with me one day. And we will be together forever, as we so wish. In perfect circumstances. It's but a short time. I mean, short in terms of eternity. It's but a moment, less than a moment in time. But you have a mission, your calling to be fulfilled on earth still. I don't want you to die and come to heaven yet. You have something that needs to be done. I don't, or perhaps I do know. But you don't know what that is, perhaps. Well, do what comes to hand and trust that God completes your mission on earth beautifully, that we may enjoy eternity together. Is this what you value? Of course. It's what I value too. So this is what we're believing. How much more our God, who loves us. Now this particular lady had suffered greatly at the hands of her violent husband, and so she feels God's let her down. I can understand that. From my point of view, so can God. Don't know why she had to go through that with an all-powerful God that loves us. I just don't know. I do know that while in this world I don't know everything, to the extent that everything has some measure of uncertainty about it, even that I'm talking to you at the minute. After all, you're a hypothetical person that I'm talking to at the minute. No one may ever listen to this recording, or 1 million people may. It's fun, isn't it? I don't know. I could wake up in a minute and find I was dreaming. I never made the recording. Things are always uncertain, aren't they? To some extent. It's not likely. I'm pretty clear I'm awake at the minute and in, well, as good a right sense state of mind as I'm ever in. It's not just what's happened to me in life that's bad, but what's happened to others, which is far more terrible. Some others, and I'm not going to dwell on it and list such possibilities. You know what I mean. I agree. Am I going to choose to believe that this is good reason for not believing in God? Is that my best option? Really? I don't think so. I know my best option. It's to nonetheless trust in God, the personification of what I understand to be truly what I value. All good and all loving. And if what I value is not all good and all loving, I'm going to trust that he changes me accordingly. Because he loves me. And because I want to love him with all my heart, soul, mind and strength, in this state of uncertainty, in this state of not knowing. I'll tell you for why. Because I trust I'm a child of God, and I've good reason to therefore trust him. And I trust that he will honour that. Because he's a simply wonderful, lovely God that loves us. Choose you this day, Lord, whom you will serve. Bless you, the Lord bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine within you. This is life eternal to know God. May you know your God beautifully. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.